Hey guys, welcome to today's video, and today's video is a super huge video. It is finally time for my Super Bowl 54 prediction here on July 17th, 2019. I will predict what will happen on February 2nd, 2020. I love making predictions. I think it's super fun. I don't know why. These are my favorite videos to make. If you haven't seen my previous video where I predicted all 8 division winners, you can also go check that out. Check that one out. It's just the most recent video I did before this one. I certainly enjoyed making that one, so if you want to see who I have winning your team's division, go check it out. But while we're here, Super Bowl 54 prediction. Super Bowl 54 will be February 2nd, 2020 at the Miami Dolphins Stadium. And I really think that there's a lot of teams that you can make a case for, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the 2 teams I have in Super Bowl 54, talk about both of them, and then give you my winner and score at the end. Sound good? Good. So, my Super Bowl 54 prediction is, drumroll please, the Los Angeles Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs will face off in Super Bowl 54. There you see my beautiful graphic. I mean, this is just 2 of the most young, promising teams in the NFL, led by these 2 promising young quarterbacks. I really think that these 2 teams are just the most complete teams in their respective conferences and are bound to face off in Super Bowl 54. You know, we saw how talented these 2 teams were when they faced off on Monday Night Football in that game that was 54-51 in favor of the Rams. We saw talent on both sides of the ball. It was a fun game to watch. So I certainly don't think football fans would be upset with getting a chance to see that again, these 2 teams again in Super Bowl 54. So, we're going to start by talking about the NFC champs. The Los Angeles Rams are going to be NFC champions this year. Well, why? It starts with their offense. The Rams' offense is honestly so good, and it just might be one of the top ones in the NFL. You look at Jared Goff. He took a huge leap last year. After he went 0-7, after he went 0-7 in his rookie year, people were saying, "Oh, he's a bust. He's no good." And then just last year, he was playing in the Super Bowl. And the Rams have one of the best wide receiving corps. I said best. Underrated and best, because you look at Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is a great receiver. He's played in the past 2 Super Bowls, and really he's just a great downfield threat for Jared Goff. And then really one of the more underrated receivers in the entire league is Robert Woods, because Robert Woods had over 1,200 receiving yards last year, I believe. I'm just going to double check on that momentarily. And then it's not just Robert Woods, it's Cooper Kupp, because Cooper Kupp was injured last year. So Jared Goff was without one of his top targets last year. And the way he was able to still maintain his level of play and lead the Rams to a first-round bye is crazy. And just double-checking on Robert Woods, he did have over 1,200 receiving yards last year. So the Rams had two very good receivers when it came to receiving yards. And I would think they have one of the best receiving corps in the league, and that might surprise you. But just watch for them this year. They're going to be good. And then everybody is concerned about Todd Gurley's knee. But you know what? We drafted Darrell Henderson out of Memphis, round 3, pick 70. So really, I think both of these guys will be a solid running back tandem for the Rams. So maybe Todd Gurley's not 100% for week 1. Well, then what? You got this great guy that you drafted out of Memphis that had a great college career that could step in. Last year, Todd Gurley didn't make it to the end of the season. C.J. Anderson stepped in, and they still made it to the Super Bowl. Something similar could happen, but in reverse. Maybe Todd Gurley can't get to his full potential right away. So Darrell Henderson can kind of carry most of the load until Todd Gurley gets healthy, and then the Rams have one of the best backfields in the NFL. And then, of course, the defense. I really think one of the things that sets the Rams apart from other NFC contenders is their defensive line and really their defense overall. With the defensive line, they obviously have Aaron Donald, the best defensive player in the game, better than Khalil Mack and J.J. Watt and Von Miller. He is the best. I really think that's quite obvious, but if you disagree, feel free to say in the comments below, and I'll be happy to hear you out. Just a guy who can get to the quarterback, tackles, forces turnovers, just a great all-around player. You guys know, I don't need to spend so much time talking about him. You've seen him on prime time every week. Just doing what he does, and I think he'll do that again. But it's not just him, it's that whole defensive line. You got Dante Fowler, who they re-signed to a 1-year deal. Remember, they traded for him in the middle of last year from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's a great asset. And then 2 other additions on the defense. They had 2 other great defensive additions that I want to talk about. Eric Weddle and Clay Matthews, 2 veterans with playoff experience and guys that know how to win, that have been deep in the playoffs before. Eric Weddle spent his career with the Chargers and Ravens, and obviously Clay Matthews coming over after spending all of his career with the Packers until this point. So really just two great guys that I think will help some of the Rams younger guys really like learn the ways of how to be good deep defenders. And speaking of the Rams young guys, I love their draft class. You know, Taylor Rapp is a great pick in the second round. They traded out of the first round with the Falcons, so, and they were still able to have quietly a pretty good draft class. You know, obviously Taylor Rapp, a really good safety. Pair him with Eric Weddle, the veteran. And then you got, of course, Henderson, who I talked about right there. And then, obviously, a couple offensive linemen, such as David Edwards out of Wisconsin. That was a good pick. So, really, a lot of good guys. They didn't get any elite guys, but they got a lot of solid players in this draft. And as I mentioned, Cooper Kupp. People have just forgotten about Cooper Kupp. And they I don't know why. Like, this guy was doing great things last year. Like, he got hurt in, like, I think it was November. Like, this is our stats for last year. 40 catches, 566 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns. Like, that's pretty good. Like, that's not something to laugh about. Like, that's a solid receiver. And he might be their number 3 receiver because it'll probably be Cooks, Woods, and then Kupp, especially with Kupp coming off of injury. I'm guessing that's going to be their depth chart for wide receiver. I don't know. I'm not Sean McVay. But we'll have to see. But I think this Rams offense and this whole team is really something to be excited about. And they are the most complete team in the NFC. Do some teams have better certain parts? Yes. But the Rams are the most overall complete team in the NFC, and that's why they are going to be playing in Super Bowl 54. Now the AFC champion, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are also going to play in Super Bowl 54. The Chiefs are going to be AFC champions. Why? It all starts with Patrick Mahomes. You know, Madden 20 cover, you know, really just a elite quarterback, first year starting. He lit it up. He absolutely deserved the MVP award. And really, normally, like, when people talk about quarterbacks, I say, okay, that's one player. But really, for the Chiefs, honestly, the reason they went so far was honestly so much because of Patrick Mahomes' right arm. Really, it's just the way he was able to find his receivers and make something out of nothing in plays. The way he was able to use the play action to throw off defenses. He's just a great quarterback. He has that rare ability where he has good arm strength, but he's also mobile. For most guys, it's one or the other, but Patrick Mahomes is a great combination of both, and I think that's what makes him so good. He has a good arm, and he has good legs, where he can run enough, but not too much, where he gets himself hurt all the time. So really, it's Patrick Mahomes. But they also got Mecole Hardman from Georgia in the draft, because there's a lot of questions around the Chiefs wide receiving core. One, Tyreek Hill, will he be suspended? Will he not be? I don't know. The league doesn't know. We're still waiting. I mean, he's not suspended now, so we're just going to go with that for now. So you got Tyreek Hill for now. And then you got Sammy Watkins, who I actually think Sammy Watkins could have a bounce back year. He had some good years in Buffalo. So I think if Patrick Mahomes incorporates him into the offense well, I think he could have a bounce back season. And then, of course, this guy, Mecole Hardman out of Georgia. At first, when this pick happened, I was a little confused because I thought there were better receivers available. But then when I saw it, I kind of saw what the Chiefs were looking for. They wanted a speedy guy that they could use out of the slot. So I think that's kind of what Mecole Hardman will be for the Chiefs. So I think if that's what they were, excuse me again, but I think that's what they were looking for. That's a good pick for the Chiefs. Really, really a great asset for an offense that is really good. I mean, I think they're one of the best in the league. But then the question marks, the defense. I'm going to zoom in on some key parts of the list. That yards allowed for defenses. And Kansas City is, I don't even know if you can see them. They are way down there. They are 31st in the NFL in that category. That is crazy. But the Chiefs made additions on their defense. They got probably the best safety, maybe if not the best top 3 in Tyrann Mathieu. They also drafted Juan Thornhill out of Virginia. That's a great pick, so now you got a good safety combo. Then you have Frank Clark. They made a big trade because the Chiefs' defense, they just need a better defense. That's the reason why they didn't win the Super Bowl last year. It was their defense. The offense was fine. But the defense, it was the reason that they didn't do it. But even with as bad as the Chiefs' defense was last year, they were this close to making it to the Super Bowl. Now the Chiefs' defense is a lot better with Mathieu, the draft. They drafted some solid defensive guys in the mid-rounds. And then you got Frank Clark. They gave up a pretty decent haul for him, but I think in the end it should be worth it if Frank Clark plays his potential. Great edge rusher, could help him get to the quarterback and really add an infusion of talent to a defense that needs it. So, I have the Los Angeles Rams winning the Super Bowl. I know this may come as a surprise to you, but boom, we are going right to it. The Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Todd Gurley is going to be the MVP. Rams 28, Chiefs 24. That will be the score. Hear that rhymes. This is my Super Bowl 52 prediction. 54 prediction, excuse me. Screenshot it. This is what I'm going with. You could hold me accountable. Maybe this will be something that I look back on and say, I told you so, or maybe this is future meme material. I really don't know. But I just think the Rams are the most complete team in the NFL, and I think even if some people are saying they might not be able to make it back to the Super Bowl with a conference with the Saints and the Bears and teams like that, but really, I think this is going to be a great Super Bowl. Two young quarterbacks. I know this is a Super Bowl a lot of people wanted to see last year, but I think they're going to see it. Super Bowl 54. Rams over Chiefs. The Rams are going to win the NFC. Chiefs win the AFC. Rams over Chiefs, Super Bowl 54. I just want to say that a couple times just so I get it out there and there's no doubt. Rams are Super Bowl 54 champions. If you're a fan of either of these teams, you should be very, very excited, okay? Both of these teams are going to be really good for years to come, but I think this year it is the Los Angeles Rams. So the Rams, Super Bowl 54 champions. Agree? Disagree? I don't care if you agree with me or if you think the Rams are going to be 0-16. I want to hear what you guys think in the comments. So after this video, after you like and subscribe, of course, go in the comment section and tell me what you think. I want to hear. I want to talk football with you guys. So just please tell me whatever you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Football's almost here. Hall of Fame games in a few weeks. See you guys later.